The lucrative worlds of professional sports and competitive video gaming are beginning to merge, with the NBA's Philadelphia 76ers becoming the first organization among the 4 major U.S. sports leagues to invest in so-called ESports squads, teams that compete at video games. Here with the story is WSJ's Sarah Needleman. Hi, Sarah. This is a very interesting investment on the part of the 76ers. Absolutely. Can you tell us any details on the terms of the deal?
Well, they did not disclose the terms of the deal. We're told that esports teams typically go in the $5 to $12 million range, and the CEO of the 76ers did confirm for me that it paid in that range.
And they bought 2, right?
They bought 2 teams, but the total they paid would be in that range. And they also went with an investment group, Next Equity Partners, in on this deal.
So this was a real finance deal with, you know, all the backing that entails. The names of these teams are Digitas and Apex. Tell us more about this e-gaming world. A lot of people are not familiar. Sure. What kind of revenue does it bring in? How quickly is it growing?
Sure. Competitive video gaming is very hot, and it's definitely growing. It's like a traditional sports, only they're teams of players sitting in front of computers or consoles, or even in some cases tablets, playing against video games against one another competitively. There are mainstream advertisers that sponsor teams. They wear jerseys.
So the players themselves become well known.
Absolutely. They have huge followings on social media. It's very popular among younger crowds, millennials. And yeah, they're celebrities in their own right, and they wear
they become
jerseys.
Sponsors just like, I mean, they become famous just like a pro basketball player and get sponsorships.
And in some circles, maybe even more famous.
Right.
They play in stadiums that are completely packed, and millions of people tune in to watch these games online.
What kind of revenue are they bringing in?
Right now, it's small. We're looking at only about $1 billion by 2019. And, you know, the whole video game industry is more like $100 billion. Right. So it's still pretty small, but it's definitely growing, and we're looking at multi-billions of dollars in just the next few years.
And so have the worlds of traditional sports and esports crossed paths before?
Yes, this is not the first time we've seen this kind of involvement. There are professional athletes who have invested in esports teams. Shaquille O'Neal, Alex Rodriguez have both invested in an esports team. Jeremy Lin is a brand ambassador to an esports team. There are a number of soccer clubs in Europe that have either invested in building their own teams or have signed players. So this is not the first time, but it is the first, at least with a major U.S. sports organization.
Fascinating. So what does the 76ers chief executive, Scott O'Neal, say about this investment and his expectations for it?
He definitely thinks it has a potential to be huge over time. He doesn't think it's going to happen overnight, and it's not necessarily going to be quite as big as the NBA. But he definitely, you know, like everybody else, is looking at the numbers of people watching, you know, tuning into these games and spending money on it. I mean, there's all sorts of ways between ticket sales and merchandise and sponsorships. So there's a lot of potential going forward. And
could you foresee this setting off a trend? Will other, you know, teams get in line, do you think?
It's certainly possible. I mean, like we said, we're already seeing individual athletes invest their money in esports. So for other teams to follow in the 76ers lead would not be surprising at all.
Right. And William Morris, that represents a lot of people in the sports world, had something to do with this deal, correct?
Yes. The sports talent agency represented the teams in this deal, and they've also represented the teams that compete in Turner's TBS program that aired over the summer and just was renewed for another season, is on right now. They're competing in Counter-Strike Go, which is one of the popular video games on the professional circuit. So, and that's televised. Right. So yeah, they're very involved in brokering deals and representing teams.
Following the money. All right, Sarah Needleman, thank you so much for that.